This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring.
Today's video brought to you by yourdjlogo.com. Get your new DJ logo today.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Remix Report. It's another weekend recap. I'm DJ JD.
I'm DJ J Spring, and the hoodie's back. It's starting to get cold outside.
Sure is. Fall is here in full effect. Leaves are turning color. Summer over.
No more DJing at Patty's. That's all done. So I guess that means the clubs are going to start to get a little bit busier.
I would hope so, yeah. That'd be awesome.
I've kind of noticed that this weekend was really busy at Scorpion Bar. I was at Scorpion on Friday and Saturday. That was a good segue how I just got right into it.
Bam. We're getting good at this.
Yeah, so it was, both nights were actually pretty busy, especially Saturday. And then I was at Shrine last night on Sunday. It was a little slow as Sundays can be, but Saturday Scorpion Bar was definitely, they came close to breaking the record, which has been broken like every week, I think, in, was it August that they were breaking all the records? It must have been maybe June or July that they were kept breaking all the records. But definitely a good night on Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah, I was at Shrine on Friday. It was our last Friday jam session ever because we're...
Would you get fired?
No, we're switching it up. We're switching to a new name for Friday nights, a new push, new promoters behind the night.
Shout out to Ryan from Insight Events.
Yep. And so the new Friday night starting this week with Clinton Sparks on our kickoff night.
What's it called, this new Friday?
Fuck it, it's Friday. That's what it's called.
I like that.
Of course, with the little, I think it's a pound sign and a money sign in there to make it
kind
appropriate.
of PC.
Yeah. I'm just not sure exactly how to say it on the radio. I was recording my radio show today, like the voiceover for my radio show, and I was calling it "Forget It, It's Friday." Only that's not exactly what it says. You'll have to go to our website.
It's like the CeeLo version.
So
I think it'd be cool if you had like a beep. It's Friday.
And I want to say "F it, it's Friday."
Yeah, I don't know if you could say
but
that.
Even that, like, I didn't feel. Without talking to the radio station people about it, I didn't really feel comfortable saying
Say it's Friday.
So.
New Friday. It's Friday.
But yeah, Clinton Sparks this week, so we're definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, last Friday was definitely a good night. It seems like things were picking up, as you said. And shout out to Jake Moscow, who job shadowed me for the night. He's in his senior year of high school up in Massachusetts, and he's been DJing a couple years. And we worked it out for him to come and kind of see what DJing in the club is all about.
Was this actually through his high school that you did this, or?
Not officially, I don't think. I think, but his high school knows he's doing it. I don't know exactly, but it's definitely is all.
Did you make him
kosher,
carry
legit.
your mono bag?
No, no, he's not an intern. Just job shadowing. So that was definitely cool. He enjoyed himself, and of course, in those situations with underage kids around, no alcohol for the night, which was a nice break. So.
Wait, you weren't allowed to have alcohol?
No,
I thought
you're
over 21
in the DJ booth at all because there was someone under 21 in the booth.
That's like the rule?
Yep. Per liquor commission. So makes sense. I can't fight that. So
is there an age? There must be some kind of minimum age to actually go in the booth. Is there? 18? Is that the minimum? I mean, you can't just bring a 6-year-old into Shrine, can you?
Probably not. I don't know exactly what
I wouldn't
the
recommend
rules
it
are.
personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Their poor little ears. Let's see. Saturday night.
Yeah, you were at.
I was at Rain on Saturday night. Typical Rain night. Definitely older crowd. And saw a lot of old jams work and mostly top 40.
Minimal hip hop.
Yeah,
I was there.
Minimal.
I was actually there last week, right?
Yep.
Yes. So I even asked the owner. I think I mentioned this. Like I was playing an up-tempo version of Mercy, and I was like, "Are we allowed to play like up-tempo versions?" And he was like, "No, try to stay away." So I actually had to mix out of it before. It was a DJ Mad mix that we talked about in here. So I mixed out of it before even Kanye started.
Yeah, I think I played some old school kind of hip hop, and the newest hip hop. I played the Motto for Drake's verse because someone asked for Drake, so I fit that in there pretty quick. But that was about as gangster as it got.
No 2 Chainz.
No 2 Chainz, or Future.
Do you ever play Future at Shrine?
I think I played him
Some Damn Time or whatever it's called.
the same damn time.
Yeah, Same Damn Time.
I played a track or two of his. Yeah.
I've never played any Future. Yeah.
Lucky.
Saturday, I got to catch up with DJ Riz. I actually bumped into him as I was going to get food at one place. He was going to another, but his place was closed. So we ended up eating. Shout out to DJ Explorer, who was also down there. And John Cardona joined us as well. It was always good.
Any insight from Mr. Riz?
There was lots of insight from Riz, and just shout out to DJ Riz. I know he watches sometimes. He's like the coolest guy in the world, and it's always good talking to him because he does have a lot of insider information. We talked about a lot of different topics. I wish we could have like put it on a remix report.
Absolutely, I feel like that every time I talk to him. Yeah.
So it was a good time. We talked about how house. It didn't go over as good as the hip hop did at Shrine that night. He was telling me that when John, who was opening for him, dropped the discotheque, it must have been the discotheque transition into Can I Get A, the crowd just went crazy. That was probably 11:45ish if I had to guess. Now I've kind of felt that way lately when I've been there too. I know this is what we were talking about kind of last week. So I almost feel like the house kind of maybe hit its peak, perhaps.
It's possible. I mean,
I said kind of maybe perhaps. I'm still not positive.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think we still gotta. We're not gonna know probably for 6 months. Really, like we'll have to look back and really see kind of the arc. But I'd say there's a good chance it may have, and we'll see. You know, how long do you think it'll be until we can really say for sure?
I mean, I don't know. There's still people who are all about the house. That hasn't changed. It's just there's still people who are all about reggaeton too. And I mean,
there could be like some breakthrough house act that comes out in the next month even.
When you say house acts, you mean producer?
Producer, yeah, DJ, whatever, with like a couple huge tracks, and that could change the game. I mean, you never really know.
See, like I have to me there's different kinds of house. Maybe this is just only in my head, but I look at a song like Rattle, which is like a very distinguished song. Like people know right away when you play it that it's Rattle when they hear the synths when the drums drop out, and that usually gets a good reaction. But I made my own edit of Rock the House by Afrojack, and which is like for all intents and purposes of what we play at Shrine, that's like as hard as it gets for the most part. That's a hard song.
Yep.
And when that drops, I don't really see like people going crazy. I hear the reaction from Rattle. I mean, you don't really get a chance to hear anything from Rock the House because it's just all energy. But I'll play it and then I'll just look out on the floor, and it's just like, you know what? No one's really dancing.
It definitely doesn't visually seem the way it did maybe 6 months ago even.
No. And it's easy to get tricked sometimes especially if you're playing in a smaller, more compact venue. You might play a house song and you look up and you'll see 5 or 6 people right in front of you jumping up and down like crazy, wilding out. But then if you kind of look around them, no one else is. So I know I compared house a little bit last week to reggaeton, and I said that reggaeton and reggae in the way that people just want to hear it. The people who like it just want to hear it. But I don't know. I mean,
what do you think the reason for this peak or having it reached its peak is? Is it just because it's been so saturated, it's oversaturated, and people are sick of it because of that, or?
Well, I was gonna say like another way that it's like reggaeton in a way is that it seems like people either like it or they don't like it, or more so they know it or they don't know it. You don't have people who really know the popular house songs. I shouldn't say it that way. I mean, people know hip hop. They tend to know a lot more of the names of the songs and stuff. I think reggaeton is a much better example. People either like it or they don't, for the most part. There's not many people who kind of like reggaeton, or it's more they want to hear it, they request it, or they just don't want to hear it at all. And it's kind of divided that way. And I feel like house is kind of that way also. My friends, who I've used as an example on the show many times, who typical kids who are like me. I'm talking about my friends from high school. They like all the old school bad boy stuff. They like Santeria by Sublime. They love the 80s Bon Jovi and stuff. Just well-rounded musical taste. There's no way they could name one house song from the last 5 years. And I think there's a lot of kids like that who probably go to Shrine. Maybe,
But that
maybe
is the older
younger.
crowd, though. I mean,
Yeah.
look at
What are you trying to say?
Well, that older crowd is getting out of the club scene in general, though. I mean, look at like the festivals, like Electric Daisy, all these crazy festivals. Like people were telling me they went down to Electric Zoo, and it seemed like it was all high school kids.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I mean, what does that mean for 5 years from now when they're old enough to go to the club, or just in general, like their influence on the music scene right now?
Oh, you're right. But I was thinking, I mean, what's that? I think of Shrine. I mean, there's obviously younger kids who come in there, but Shrine's more, it's more of a slightly older club crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shrine's obviously more expensive. It's one of the nicest clubs in New England, if not the nicest, and the prices reflect that. And so it's a little bit older. You have to be able to afford that. It's not a lot of Shrine isn't really a lot of college kids for the most part.
Not really, no.
So it is slightly. I mean, you always see when you look through the pictures, you'll see some older. I want to say, when I say older, I'm talking late 30s. That's nothing out of the ordinary at Shrine. It's like a mix. But I would say it's probably 24. I would say and up. I mean, obviously there's some 21 and 22 year olds.
I'd say like the core demographic is probably 24 to 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And it's kind of like the crowd that Solar's talked about when he says like they get off of work and they don't even want to hear like the crazy remixes. They just want to hear their Katy Perry sometimes. Shrine is a little bit of a hipper crowd than that. I mean, some people, there are people who are into music who go to Shrine. So that's not the best example, but I mean, there still are those people who want to hear Call Me Maybe, and that crowd doesn't know Metropolis by David Guetta. They might not even know. Well, I would say they don't know who Thomas Gold is. They don't know who Artie is. Those are acts that are coming to Shrine soon, so they won't be going to those Tuesdays. I saw someone leave a comment. I always do Facebook stalking like this. They left a comment on Shrine, said it was overrated, so I clicked on their page, and I saw they left a comment how they had a bad experience and they had to pay $20 for a shitty DJ, who that night just happened to be Robbie Rivera. And so it's just, there is still that crowd. She doesn't know who Robbie Rivera is. I wonder how many people who were there actually knew who Robbie Rivera is, because we have those on a regular Tuesday sometimes. So
there were a good amount of people that night that did. But, I mean, Robbie Rivera plays a kind of set where if you don't like house music, you don't like that kind of music, you're not going to have a good time at all that night, which is unfortunate.
You know, the one thing you talk about, this younger generation, this really made me think the other day. I mentioned last week how it seems like songs like Metropolis by David Guetta are just a dime a dozen, and they're kind of throwaway because we're not going to be playing them in another 6 months.
Yep.
And it made me wonder, like, when we're at weddings, and like, imagine we're the grandparents who are at a wedding. We're 70, 80 years old. Are these kids will be, actually, I shouldn't say we're 70. Let's say when we're 50 and some of these kids are 35 and they're getting married, are they going to ask for Toulouse to be played at that, because that was their favorite song? I mean, you know how it is when you're younger, what you hear tends to have more of an impact on you than when you get older. I mean, most people always say their favorite songs were from their high school years.
Middle school, high school.
Middle school and high school. So the classics in my age group, I'm 32, even though I tell people I'm younger than that many times, are stuff like Mo Money, Mo Problems. I think that's like that was like our high school song. Wonderwall was big when I was in high school. So those are like the classics from that era. There's obviously some people right now, if you were to go to EDC, you were to go to Ultra, pass around the microphone and ask them what's their favorite song of all time, you're going to have kids who are naming some of these house songs as their favorite song. If I had to guess, if anyone named house songs, they'd probably say No Beef, maybe.
Take Over Control.
Take Over Control. I can't really imagine anyone saying like and no offense to bass jackers, I can't imagine anyone saying RIAA or RIA, whatever the song is called. It'd probably be more of a vocal song, or at least maybe a song like Rattle that had some
Scary Monsters,
Nice Sprites. So stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely people who are naming those songs as their favorite song of all time, and I wonder if they'll still be so into that song in even 2 years, if they'll still feel the same way about those songs. Because songs like Mo Money, Mo Problems, to my age group, that song just never got old.
I think they will, because I mean, parallel to I guess my high school years would be like Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up, something like that, which even today, I mean, still holds its own pretty well.
No, but these are, don't forget, I'm talking more the songs that especially don't have words. Like there's someone out there who names One by Swedish House Mafia as their favorite song ever.
Yeah.
And do you think in 20 years that person will still feel the same way about that song? I used to listen I used to listen to lots of reggae, and the reggae that I hear now doesn't really do anything for me. I'm like out of the loop now. But I still listen to I can still listen to the classic 90s reggae the same way I did when it came out. My opinion hasn't changed at all on that. I can't imagine that when these 20-year-olds turn 40, that they'll look at One or Rattle the same way. Or even No Beef is a little bit harder, I'd say, than Take Over Control. Take Over Control is slightly more poppy. It's not quite as crazy as No Beef, I don't think. Although they are similar.
I think you're wrong on this, though. I gotta say that because, I mean, like you said, when you're young and you're in your teens and you hear this stuff and it makes that impression on you, I mean, that impression sticks with you forever. It really does.
So do you think anyone will request One by Swedish House Mafia when they're 40 years old at a wedding?
No, they might request your name. Probably not One. And a lot of these songs, while they do have an instrumental-only version, a lot of them do have vocal version too. I mean, I do think you're right in the fact that a lot of the instrumental-only songs will not necessarily stand up the test of time as well as the vocal house tracks will. I totally agree with that. But I mean, I think you see that right now. I mean, people like the vocal house stuff more than a lot of the instrumental-only stuff anyway. So I don't really see that being an issue. But
one thing Riz and I talked about is how the drum songs seem to be making a comeback. Stuff like Gregor Salto. I like that song Just One More Time Baby by Chocolate Puma as well, and Crookers has a couple songs like that. It's like the tribally, just the focus is on the drums.
Like Flash,
yeah,
stuff like that.
That's a good example
kind of epic in a way.
Yeah, kind of. So the drum stuff seems to be making a comeback, but
Gotta have that nice big sound system to really get away with those, though.
Yeah, but again, I mean, those songs I don't think obviously won't stand the test of time. No one's gonna be asking for a Zumba in 20 years. I
could see one of those. I could see Epic maybe even being like Sandstorm almost. I mean, Sandstorm is like that perfect example of a song with no words that
Sandstorm
is still a test
crossed
time.
Over to top 40. I don't see Epic ever crossing over. I could be wrong. I mean, right now when it comes to house crossing over to top 40, you have to compete with all those other big house songs that are getting played at the club. It's not like back then when Sandstorm was the only song getting played at the club, and then 2 years, like a year or two after that, it made top 40. I still remember where I was. I was at the gym, and they had the radio on. It was Q105, and they said, "Here's a new song by Darude, Sandstorm. You heard it here first." And that was like over a year after I'd been playing it at UConn when they were wilding out for it. So I'll never forget hearing that. That was kind of funny.
Well, maybe a few other predictors of house reaching its peak is two things. I would say Swedish House Mafia taking a break, kind of doing their farewell tour, and LMFAO taking a break at this point, which was they just announced, or Red Foo, I guess, talked about earlier this week. I don't think Sky Blues said anything about it yet that I've seen of you.
No. I mean, I'll just say this. When there's breakups and stuff, it seems like you never really know the story until they make a documentary 10 years later.
Yeah.
So
are you surprised about LMFAO breaking up, though? Or taking
I am
taking a hiatus.
especially because they're at their prime kind of right now. Although I feel like, and I hate to say it, that they've gotten kind of played out a little bit, and I think the point in time where I was like, you know what, maybe this is too much, was when I heard the Madonna remix, and when they said party rock, like the same way they say it in all the songs, and it was on the Madonna remix. I was like, you know what, like, it's like every song can't be like this. Just eventually you start to get tired of it a little bit.
Yeah, Red Foo said, I feel like we've been doing this for so long, 5 or 6 years, and we're kind of like saying, well, let's just do what's natural and just kind of explore that instead of forcing it all the time.
One of them is in, they started like a new collective group. It's called Big Bad. They have a new song out called The Sex Song. I'm not sure which one of them it is.
And I got to say, it's kind of unfortunate, personally, to see them break up, because seeing them rise kind of from the bottom to where they are was really cool to see. And
I wish we could like pick their mind to find out how they did it.
I know. And they definitely have given us a lot of great club music over the last couple of years. I mean, I do agree that some of the stuff the sound kind of is getting a little played out at this point, and I'm not sure really where they could evolve to next to kind of break through the next level of their career.
But it's crazy when you talk about how they rose. I mean, they started off as just DJs producing songs.
Yeah, doing remixes and mashups and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. And but I mean, you got to look at the main thing there is their age difference. Like Red Foo is 37, and Sky Blue is 25, 26. So yeah. I mean, that's a huge age difference.
I mean, when
especially being like
Sky Blue's the younger one.
Yeah.
When he's Red Foo's age now, Red Foo will be in his 50s. Well, he'll be pushing 50.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I can definitely see. I mean, where you are mentally in your mid 20s and your late 30s is two totally different places. So I can definitely see how probably Red Foo wants to go on and kind of really solidify probably his production side of his career, working with other artists and kind of like getting like that real money. Not like they're not making real money now, but you know, solidifying himself, I think, in the music world. And Sky Blue, I would assume, probably wants to go out and have a lot of fun right now. Nothing wrong with either of those, I don't think. I mean, that's just kind of where I would imagine they're at. I could be totally off base, but I don't think anybody saying that would would be too far off.
I got a chance to talk to Riz about kind of what it takes to kind of make it to the next level. We're talking a little bit because obviously you guys know you have the song by Sick Duo, him and Chris Moody. What's it called? It's called Big.
Big. Yeah.
So he was telling me a little bit about that, and really just saying that you gotta catch your big break, and you just gotta hope that you can get somebody to actually play it and get behind the record. And he actually showed me an email he got from David Guetta saying he was going to play the song in Ibiza, and he let him know how it did, which is the craziest. Imagine looking on your cell phone, having an email from David Guetta, who actually played your mashup of Low Is Gone, but you never got a chance to talk to him.
I never got the email.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's one thing.
Congrats to Riz for that, though. That's awesome.
That is awesome. But Riz still acknowledged, he still said that he has, I mean, it's not there yet. I mean, you need someone to really get behind your record. And I think Riz and Chris Moody both have the support of Pacha in New York City, which is huge for them. And they've done that's going to help them with networking too.
And they have support from a ton of DJs too, so that definitely helps.
But
it's good.
They need to get the support from like the established house DJs, which I think is like a different world. I think.
Yeah. Chris Moody is a house DJ, so I think his influence is definitely good on that. I mean, Chris Moody has the influence to get the house music side of things, and Riz has the ability to get all the like normal open format club DJs.
Don't forget Riz still has him and Chris, I think, worked a lot in Pasha. So they remember Riz. I was surprised when Riz told me during the interview that he started off with the house.
Yeah.
So Riz definitely has that house background too.
Absolutely.
Obviously, wish them luck, and I think they'll be pretty successful. That song's gotten great feedback
Absolutely. And it plays well in the club, too. I've been playing it, and it does get a good reaction.
If it's good enough for David Guetta, then it's good enough for us.
All right, so I guess, should we talk about the most popular song of the moment, which happens to be very housey?
Actually, let's continue what Riz and I were talking about.
All right,
real
sure.
quick. We'll switch the topics. Also, DJ Explorer kind of got into this conversation a little. We're talking about a recent Twitter beef that happened, and we're not going to name any of the names.
No?
No, I don't think we should. I mean,
Well, the main one?
well,
Who started it all?
I guess we could say that Diplo was involved in it, and basically, should I tell the story about? Well, yeah, I guess we can get into it a little bit. I mean, we hate to just like kind of bring this up again, and we're not trying to cause controversy. There's a moral to the story.
Yes.
So Diplo basically said something. He was listening to, is it 92.3? Is that the station?
I believe so.
It's
It was a New York
Island.
hip hop, or is it hip hop or?
I think it's more pop, kind of pop / house, maybe.
Right. New York radio station.
One of the bigger ones. I think it is 92.3, and he made a comment that what do you say? The music was just whack on there. Anyone who's listening should just take their radio and throw it into the Hudson River, which is quite a bold statement. And
it was a DJ like doing a mix show at the time too.
Yeah.
Right. So
and I mean, other people got involved in this, and there's no need to. We're not trying to keep it going, but I guess the whole moral of the story is that when you say something like that, again, you're on the internet, and you're not the only one on the internet. Other people are reading this too, and it's like, no matter how big you've gotten, you need the support of those below you still. And some of the guys on the radio station even mentioned, they were like, you know what, this is crazy you saying this. Like, we supported your Usher record when only hip hop radio was playing it. We're more of a pop housey station, and we gave it a try. And I think that made Diplo really realize the mistake he made. And he said he was just having a bad day, and he just heard something he didn't like and kind of overreacted to it. But I mean, who knows? Like we always say, sometimes you say something and then you apologize. It's like, are you sorry that you said it, or do you really like take back what you said? So again, the moral of the story is you got to think before you say stuff like that. And I think other people in the argument also said stuff without really thinking as well. And again, you got to realize when you say stuff like this, it affects. There's people under you who kind of you need their support. So you got to be careful what you say.
it amazes me more and more when I see these that people haven't realized this already. I mean, these are a lot of guys that are well established in the community, in the game, that have already made this mistake once or twice before.
I mean, this happens in sports all the time, where athletes are the worst. They just have no control over what they say at all. It just amazes me.
But the difference with athletes is usually they're on camera a lot of times. Like, they're kind of put on the spot. Like, this is something you actually
I'm
typed it out.
I'm talking about athletes on Twitter.
All right, well, that too, yeah. But I mean, athletes in general, I mean, they're out there in the media getting asked questions, and they say stuff live. Sometimes they shouldn't say.
I'm strictly talking about athletes on Twitter.
All right, well, it's more ridiculous, because you spent the time to type it out, then most likely you looked at it again once you typed it out to make sure everything was said the way you wanted it to be said. And at that point, you didn't look at it and say, maybe I shouldn't be saying this?
It was a player on the Knicks. One of his fans said at this person, and he said, I hope you try harder next year because we need you to do better. And he just said pretty much, fuck you, faggot. Wrote that on Twitter and said that to a fan, which everybody saw him write that. It's just like, so he obviously apologized.
That's what
I overreacted. It's like,
what's even worse is that people can say this stuff, and yeah, people get mad at them, but they forget about it a couple days later, and then it's like back to normal, like nothing even happened. Yeah. So does it matter? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, because if the right people see that, then they will remember. But it's, I don't know.
I mean, basically,
short attention spans for people.
I think it's different. Like what I just said about the basketball player, I think you have to understand that that's what this guy's thinking all the time in his head when a fan heckles him. He probably doesn't say it a lot. In his head, that's what he's thinking when somebody heckles him. I don't think Diplo really showed any bad character flaw or anything with what he said. He showed a bad I mean, we all hear stuff, and he didn't even know who was DJing at that point, and he definitely just, I think, overreacted to what he heard. He made a statement. He wasn't even thinking how much he was generalizing, I think. So I can definitely forgive Diplo for saying something like that. I think he just misspoke, really.
Yeah.
But I think he probably won't do it again.
Probably not. All right, so now should we talk about
let's
the
talk
biggest song in the world?
Is this the biggest song in the world, or is it your favorite song in the world?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's definitely the biggest song in the world, I would say. Yeah.
250 plus million views on YouTube, I think, last time I checked.
And it broke the Guinness World Record for most likes on the YouTube video, with like over 2 million likes. The previous record was for Party Rock Anthem, which was like over 1 million, something 1.5 million likes. Wow. So, of course, we're talking about Gangnam Style.
I think part of that might be due. There's no bigger population, I don't think, than the population in Asia. So right. I think that might be skewed a little bit because of that.
Well, YouTube's blocked in most of Asia.
Oh, is it really? Yeah. Okay, well then I'm wrong.
But the interesting thing, which my mom informed me of actually, is Psy went to Berkeley, where I went, and we were probably actually there at the same time, which is interesting. And actually, I was looking at his Wikipedia page, and he did look slightly familiar. I can't say for sure, but there is, I may recognize him, I don't know.
Now, he didn't produce the song, did he?
I don't believe so. I haven't actually seen... I looked on his Wikipedia page a little bit, but it didn't really say...
The production is kind of LMFAO-ish a little bit. I mean,
absolutely,
it's very catchy and it's well done.
And it's just...
I won't play it, but I'll give him credit.
I have been playing it a little bit. I mean, come on, like you've said, and we've said here a lot of times, I mean, as a DJ, your responsibility is to play the most popular songs that get the greatest reaction from people. And this song does get a great reaction from people.
I think you have to use your judgment, though, sometimes.
So number one doesn't matter? You shouldn't play the number one song?
No, I mean, you have to think sometimes. That's what you said. Like, sometimes the crowd does want it. I mean, think about some of the good-looking female DJs out there. The crowd would love it if they just got naked in the middle of their show, but they have to use their judgment. That's not a good thing to do. You can't always give the crowd what they want. So
that's a little different than playing the number one song.
That was the only thing I could think of to prove my point at the time.
I've been playing. I think it's Chris James did a mashup with "Sexy and I Know It," where it plays a beat for Gangnam Style underneath "Sexy and I Know It," and then at the chorus it goes into Gangnam Style, and I've gotten a great reaction from that. And I've only played the actual regular version once, which was at Rain over the weekend. So
it's just a song like this is just jokey. I mean,
absolutely, and I think he knows it's jokey.
But it's like, does the crowd want to hear it because they want to laugh, or do they want to hear it because they actually like the song? I think that if they want to hear it because they want a good laugh, I don't think it's our place to play that song, because I don't want anybody... That's not why I DJ, to make the crowd laugh.
But I thought you were just saying last week that club music is so serious. We need something fun to make people enjoy themselves.
Sweet Home Alabama,
this is exactly that.
Sweet Home Alabama is a fun song. People sing along and stuff.
But it's old. This is a brand new song that
I don't think anybody laughs.
Current.
I think
keeps the same sound. You don't gotta alienate half the people in the club who don't want to hear Sweet Home Alabama at 12:30 at night.
When you say keeps the same sound, it's in a language that not many people speak in the club. So I think that kind of sets it apart.
Well, you don't need to play the verse necessarily. You can play the chorus.
The chorus is half in is it Chinese? Is that the language?
Korean, I believe. South Korean. Okay. Sexy Ladies, that's American.
I heard that part, yeah. The open condom star, I don't think anybody knows what he's saying with that part.
Gangnam Style.
Gangman Style, as Buddy Costa says.
I mean, I think some people do want to kind of laugh at it. Another group of people want to do the dance to it, which a lot of people do know the dance. Well, and the other people, some people I think probably do actually like it, but
I don't think anybody...
I think that segment is the smallest segment, for sure. But
I think it's just...
People want to just have fun doing the dance. That's what they want to do.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could play to make people laugh. And, I mean, if you played YMCA at Shrine, there would be people doing it. I think if you played it late in the night enough, but you wouldn't want to do it because there'd be the other half that would just be like, this is like so silly. Why are we doing this right now?
But I see the relation,
no,
but they're totally different.
No, but there definitely is a relation.
No, YMCA has had a stigma about it for 25 years now.
So
I mean, this is brand new. The stigma is not there yet.
The stigma ball of the YMCA has been rolling. It's like a ball of yarn that's just been rolling over time.
It's huge. It's like the size of the moon by now.
I understand that, but some of the same strings are attached to Gangman style.
Absolutely.
I really, if I can avoid playing that, hey, let me ask you this. I can tell you a song that would have a lot of people dancing to it if you played it at Shrine, especially if there was a younger crowd. Do you know what song I'm going to say?
No, but I can only imagine it's going to be.
No, it's not very jokey. Well, it is to me, but Cupid Shuffle. Mm-hmm. That song would go over very well. I never play that.
Here's the difference. While the similarity between the two, let's lay it down, is they both have a dance.
Okay.
All right, that's the similarity, right? All right.
And the difference because they're both jokey too.
All right, but the difference is, Cupid Shuffle is like a group line dance. Like you're supposed to, it tells you exactly the moves to do during the thing. Like it's a whole different level of organization. Where this, you can just do the dance wherever you're at. You don't have to be organized, anything like that. Definitely, I see that.
I wonder what the owners of Shrine would say if we asked them, do they want us playing the song? I wonder what they would say.
Maybe we should ask them.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. I think if you're playing a top 40 venue, I think there's probably a pretty good chance you should be playing this song.
Is Shrine a top 40 venue?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you played any of the Ted songs when that was popular? Not on that night, but
only on that night.
Okay.
The Ted Pajama Party night, that is. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure people would like that as well. I mean, that's kind of jokey too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I probably could have.
When we say that the fun is gone, everything's gone so serious, I mean, in a way, as a DJ, your job is to kind of be creative and stuff and maybe break out of it as you feel you can, but the way the climate is, I don't feel like I could get away with playing that song and still keep the image that I want to keep as a DJ.
So concerned about the image.
I am. Image is everything.
It is, isn't it? That's a whole nother conversation. All right, let's see. I guess the DJ Times magazine came out with their list of top DJs in the United States.
Before you get into this, we should email all our friends that have been on this show and different people who have come to Shrine. Just ask them, do they play Gangman style? And maybe we'll put the results. That would be a good, fun thing to do. We should text people and nameless. We'll keep it anonymous. Just tally the final results, and I think we'll do that for next week.
All right. I like that.
All right. So anyway, DJ Times, you were saying?
Yeah, they came out with their list of America's best DJs, and I think, this is not the DJ Mag list of top 100 DJs in the world. This is DJ Times list of top DJs in America. So, two different lists, just to make that clear. Number one was Marcus Schultz, which was pretty surprising to me.
I assume this is a vote contest.
Yeah. I mean, I know of Marcus Schultz. I don't know really what he's done. I know he's been around a long time and is definitely up there in the house scene. But
I was always surprised when Armin van Buuren got number one for the whole entire
the DJ Mag one.
Yeah, that's for the world. This one's for America.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not familiar. I mean, I don't live out there, so I don't know how popular it is out there.
Yeah. Steve Aoki came in number 2, Skrillex number 3, BT number 4, Z-Trip 5, Porter Robinson 6, Wolfgang Gartner 7, A-Track 8, Diplo 9, and Bass Nectar 10.
Shout out to DJ Godfather, who made the list as well. Disco Fries also made the list.
So it was a top 50 total that they did?
Yeah, it was a top 50, I believe.
So I'm definitely kind of surprising there.
I mean, anytime you have voting, there's always some surprises. I mean, if voting, another way to look at it is it's whoever works the hardest for their votes can affect this. So, I mean, it's not always just straight people. Everyone's voting for who they like. Sometimes they're influenced.
True. Very true.
So is that it for this week?
I think it is.
That's pretty quick. We better get an interview for next week so we can
Now
drag
that
this out.
once your internet works again, we will be able to do that. Yeah.
There's a leak in my telephone pole outside or something, and
What do
I'm
you
not a
do
fan of
without
it.
internet?
I just
don't
keep
know.
opening my computer and hitting it. The internet, Safari, and just the same thing over and over again.
No connection.
It was very frustrating. It took me. I probably waited a lot longer to call Comcast before I kept resetting everything a million times over, choosing. It gives you all those options to set it up. I'd choose. Sometimes I choose Ethernet. Sometimes I wouldn't. I just tried every possibility, and I couldn't get it to work. And I finally found out why. I was kind of pissed at the guy who I talked to because he waited till the very end after we had checked everything before he checked if there was anything going on.
Like
in
known
my area.
issues.
Yeah. So would have been nice if you told me that before I was on the ground unplugging stuff. But
Which you'd already done anyway, right? Pretty much.
no, I haven't gotten that dirty as he told me to like twist cable plugs out and stuff, which hadn't been done in a long time since I set it up probably. So I think it's time to wrap this up now. What I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. As always, you can comment down there or email us at remixreport@gmail.com. Make sure you check out the audio-only version of this episode. You can download the podcast. Just search Remix Report on iTunes.
Let us know what you think about Gangman Style if you're playing it at your club and what kind of establishment that you're DJing at.
Yeah, definitely would like to hear.
I think the college
hear
place where I spin at, I haven't played it yet, but I'd be open to playing it there perhaps.
That'd be a perfect place for it.
It's a different kind of establishment than Shrine. I mean, there's different places.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what you guys would think.
Me too. So let us know. See ya.
Remixreport.com